The bathroom window was impossibly small. Sarah Mitchell's hands were bleeding as she squeezed through the narrow opening, her shirt catching on broken glass. 2 floors below, the garden waited in darkness. Behind her, in the locked bedroom, her passport and phone sat useless. In the master bedroom down the hall, the man who called himself Prince Khalid was sleeping. The man who'd kept her prisoner for 3 days. At 46 years old, a successful architect from Boston, Sarah never imagined she'd be crawling through a bathroom window in Abu Dhabi at 3 in the morning, barefoot and terrified, running for her life. But 3 months earlier, everything had seemed perfect. The Instagram message arrived on a Tuesday morning in March 2024. Sarah was reviewing blueprints for a sustainable housing project in Cambridge when her phone buzzed. Normally, she ignored social media during work hours, but something about this notification caught her eye. Her professional architecture account had been tagged. "Good morning, Ms. Mitchell. I am Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Your innovative architectural work has come to the attention of our royal family. We would like to discuss an extraordinary project in the United Arab Emirates." Sarah stared at the message, reading it twice. The profile showed an elegant man in his mid-40s, wearing traditional Emirati dress. The photos included meetings with dignitaries, luxury cars, stunning palatial architecture. The account had over 150,000 followers and a blue verification checkmark. This has to be spam, she thought. But her curiosity won. As an architect, she'd always dreamed of international projects, especially in the Middle East, where cutting-edge design met ancient tradition. After a moment's hesitation, she replied, "Good morning, Your Highness. I'm honored by your interest. Could you tell me more about the project?" The response came within minutes, surprisingly fast for royalty. "Ms. Mitchell, our family is planning a revolutionary cultural center in Abu Dhabi. We need an American architect with modern vision but sensitivity to Islamic tradition. You were carefully selected from hundreds of international professionals after extensive review of your portfolio." Sarah's heart raced, selected from hundreds of professionals. She knew her work was good, innovative even, but international recognition on this scale seemed surreal. "May I ask specifically why I was chosen?" she typed. "We studied your portfolio for 6 months. Your design for the community center in Cambridge impressed us deeply. The way you integrated environmental sustainability with cultural respect is exactly our vision for the Emirates. American women possess technical precision and creative innovation that's essential for projects of this magnitude." Sarah immediately remembered that project, a community center she'd designed 3 years ago for a diverse neighborhood. It had been challenging work, requiring months of research and consultation with various cultural groups. How did this prince know about such a specific, relatively small project? The detail increased her curiosity, and she had to admit her ego. Over the next 2 weeks, the conversations intensified. Prince Khalid proved surprisingly accessible for a royal. He sent spectacular photos of Abu Dhabi at sunrise, explained his family's vision to modernize Emirati culture while maintaining sacred traditions. Gradually began including more personal comments in his messages. "Ms. Mitchell," he wrote in one particularly touching message, "I must confess that beyond your professional competence, your intelligence and cultural sensitivity impress me deeply as a person. It's rare to find someone who understands both complex technical aspects and delicate cultural nuances of sacred architecture." Sarah felt increasingly flattered. After her divorce 3 years ago, her ex-husband Robert had constantly belittled her achievements, called her work cute little projects compared to his corporate law career. Receiving genuine recognition from a Middle Eastern prince felt like validation she'd been craving for years. She began eagerly awaiting each message, checking her phone during meetings. She also researched the Al Nahyan family obsessively. They did exist. They had ruled Abu Dhabi for generations. They were known for ambitious architectural projects and progressive vision. Everything confirmed Khalid's legitimacy. The project began taking detailed shape through their conversations. Khalid spoke enthusiastically about a $300 million cultural complex that would include a museum of contemporary Islamic art, a digital library, an international conference center, and a mosque that would be a symbol of the new Emirates. "It will be the ultimate bridge between East and West," he explained passionately. "A physical manifestation of harmony between ancient wisdom and modern innovation." "The initial budget for architectural development is $3 million, Khalid continued, "but we need to start immediately. Our family has specific deadlines related to Islamic calendars and astrological considerations that determine auspicious times for important construction." Sarah found herself working late into the night, researching Islamic architecture, studying UAE building codes, imagining what it would mean to transform her career. Her best friend Monica noticed the changes. "Sarah, are you sure this prince is who he says he is?" Monica asked over coffee. "This whole thing seems too good to be true." "Mon, I've checked everything," Sarah replied, slightly irritated. "The Al Nahyan family rules Abu Dhabi. His Instagram is verified. The photos are consistent. More importantly, he demonstrates detailed knowledge about my previous projects that only someone genuinely in architecture could understand." "But you've never video called him, right?" Monica insisted. He explained that royal security protocols are extremely strict, Sarah said, repeating Khalid's explanations. "All initial communications must be in writing through secure channels before visual contact is permitted. Plus, he travels constantly on diplomatic missions, so coordinating schedules would be impossible until I travel to Abu Dhabi." Monica didn't seem convinced, but Sarah was determined. This was her moment, her opportunity to leave a mark on international architecture. Recently, Khalid had begun mentioning with increasing frequency the need for her to travel to Abu Dhabi for formal presentations to the royal family. "Ms. Mitchell," he wrote, "the crucial moment has arrived to meet face to face. Our family wishes to evaluate not only your designs, but your personality and cultural compatibility. For us, personal trust is fundamental to any partnership." "When would be convenient?" Sarah asked, already rearranging her schedule. "As soon as possible. Ideally within 2 weeks," Khalid replied with urgency. "We have a very specific window in our family calendar. If we miss this chance, the entire project may be delayed for months or even years due to religious considerations and astrological cycles." The time pressure was intense, but Sarah interpreted it as further evidence of legitimacy. Large-scale government projects did have inflexible deadlines. "There is one protocol issue," Khalid added hesitantly. "Our security regulations require that you travel alone initially. After formal approval from the family, you'll naturally bring your entire team." Sarah paused. Traveling alone to a foreign country to meet someone she'd never met face to face seemed risky. But Khalid quickly offered reassurances. I understand your hesitation, he replied immediately. It's perfectly normal. Let me assure you, we'll provide complete security, a private driver, 5-star hotel accommodations, all meals at quality restaurants. You'll be treated as an honored guest of our royal family. Additionally, our consulate in Boston can provide formal diplomatic confirmation of the invitation. The mention of the official consulate convinced Sarah completely. Official government authorities wouldn't engage in fraud, right? That evening, Sarah called the UAE consulate in Boston. Good evening. I'm calling to confirm a diplomatic invitation from Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Nahyan for an architectural project. One moment, please, ma'am. After a few minutes, yes, we have record of an invitation for Ms. Sarah Mitchell, cultural project approved by the Al Nahyan family. Sarah hung up, feeling relief and excitement. Finally, everything fit together perfectly. What Sarah didn't know was that Khalid had called the same consulate 2 hours earlier, pretending to be her assistant, and had confirmed details of an invitation that had never been officially issued. The consulate employee, assuming standard administrative protocol, simply confirmed the information that had just been entered into their system. With her heart pounding, Sarah began making plans for her trip to Abu Dhabi. Completely unaware, she was walking straight into an elaborate trap, carefully constructed over months by a sophisticated international predator. Emirates' flight from Boston to Abu Dhabi took off at 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday in April 2024. Sarah had splurged on business class using her savings. The lie-flat seat, gourmet meals, champagne. She felt like a VIP for the first time in her life. She discreetly took photos to share with friends later. During the 14-hour flight, Sarah studied materials on EMIRATI architecture, prepared notes for her presentation, fantasized about her new life as an international architect. At 46, after decades of modest local work and a soul-crushing divorce, she finally felt her career was taking off. Khalid had sent a reassuring message before departure. My driver Ahmed will meet you at the airport with a sign. He'll take you directly to the hotel to rest. We'll meet tomorrow for breakfast at the Emirates Palace. Can't wait to meet you in person. Abu Dhabi International Airport was even more impressive than she'd anticipated. Massive, ultra-modern, filled with luxury shops and elegant travelers from around the world. She felt part of something grand. In the arrivals area, Sarah looked for the sign with her name. No one was there. She waited 15 minutes, then 30. Anxiety crept in, but she rationalized. Traffic in Abu Dhabi could be unpredictable. After 45 minutes, a middle-aged Arab man approached hesitantly. Excuse me, ma'am, are you Ms. Mitchell from America? Yes, you must be Ahmed. The man looked confused for a moment. Ah, yes. Ahmed. Sorry for delay. Traffic very bad today. Prince Khalid sent me. Sarah noticed Ahmed's English was basic, and he seemed nervous. But she attributed it to cultural differences. Ahmed led her to a plain Toyota Camry. Not exactly the luxury vehicle she'd expected, but she rationalized it as a security protocol. Hotel Rosewood, correct? Ahmed asked uncertainly. Actually, Khalid mentioned a 5-star hotel, but didn't specify which, Sarah replied. Ahmed looked more confused, but nodded. Yes, very good hotel. You will like. During the 40-minute drive, Sarah tried making conversation. How long have you worked for Prince Khalid? Some time, Ahmed replied vaguely. He good boss. It must be fascinating working for the royal family. Yes, very fascinating. But he seemed uncomfortable with the topic. The hotel was genuinely luxurious. the St. Regis, Abu Dhabi, a 5-star with spectacular views of the Corniche. Sarah felt relieved. Her concerns seemed unfounded. At reception, she presented her passport. "I have a reservation for Sarah Mitchell on the account of Prince Khalid Al Nahyan." The receptionist checked the system. "Ah, yes, Ms. Mitchell. We have your reservation for 2 nights. Premium room with sea view." "Only 2 nights?" Sarah asked. "It should be 5 nights." "Let me check." "No, only 2 nights confirmed. You may need to extend after confirmation with the account manager." Sarah felt slightly uncomfortable, but decided not to make a scene. Probably an administrative issue Khalid would resolve. The room was magnificent. Panoramic view, luxurious decor, comfortable king bed. Sarah had dinner at the hotel restaurant, then tried calling Khalid to confirm their morning meeting. The phone rang several times before going to voicemail. "Hello, Khalid. It's Sarah. I arrived safely, waiting for confirmation about breakfast tomorrow. Thank you for everything." Khalid didn't return her call that night. Sarah assumed he was busy with royal duties. The next morning at 8 a.m., she was dressed and waiting in the lobby for instructions about meeting Khalid at the Emirates Palace. At 8:30 a.m., no message. At 9 a.m., she began to worry. She tried calling again, straight to voicemail. At 10 a.m., a WhatsApp message finally arrived. "Sarah, 1,000 apologies. Family emergency. My mother has been hospitalized. The entire royal family must be present. Impossible to meet today." Sarah felt disappointed but understanding. Family emergencies happen. "I understand completely," she replied. "I hope your mother recovers. When can we reschedule?" "Tomorrow for sure. I'll make up for this. Lunch at the most exclusive restaurant in Abu Dhabi. I'll send Ahmed at 1 p.m. Sarah spent the day exploring Abu Dhabi on her own. The Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, the Louvre, Abu Dhabi, the Corniche. The city was fascinating, a blend of tradition and futuristic modernity. She felt inspired for the projects she'd develop with Khalid. On the second day, she waited in the lobby at 1 p.m. At 1:30 p.m., nothing. At 2 p.m., a new message. "Family situation has worsened. Mother in critical condition. Impossible to leave hospital. Can we postpone until tomorrow?" This time, Sarah was more frustrated. 2 consecutive cancellations seemed excessive. "Khalid, I understand the family situation, but I also have commitments in Boston. I need a more definitive schedule." "You're absolutely right. Tomorrow, definitely. If I can't meet, I'll send my brother Prince Faisal. He knows all the details." The mention of another royal family member reassured Sarah slightly. On the third day, Sarah felt real anxiety. Her 2 paid nights were ending, and there'd been no substantial meeting about the project. Worse, when she tried extending her reservation, she discovered her account didn't authorize an extension. "I'm sorry, Ms. Mitchell," the receptionist explained. "You'll need to pay personally." Sarah used her credit card for 2 extra nights, $900 she hadn't planned to spend. She began wondering if something was wrong. At 3 p.m. on the third day, a message arrived. "Wonderful news. My mother has recovered. We can meet today at 6 p.m. Ahmed will pick you up for special dinner at my private palace. We'll finally meet." Sarah felt renewed relief. Finally, after 3 days of delays, she'd have her meeting. At 6 p.m. sharp, Ahmed appeared driving a black Mercedes S-Class, more appropriate for royal guests. "Sorry for delays," Ahmed said in slightly improved English. "Royal family has complicated traditions." During the drive, Sarah noticed they were leaving the tourist areas for residential neighborhoods. The buildings were luxurious, but didn't look like royal palaces. Prince Khalid prefers private life, Ahmed explained. Official palace is for ceremonies. His private home is for special friends. That made sense. Many royals maintained private residences. The car stopped at an elegant villa, large but not ostentatious. Discreet security guards, manicured gardens, an atmosphere of refined wealth. "Ready to meet His Highness?" Ahmed asked with a smile. Sarah took a deep breath, adjusted her conservative but elegant dress, and nodded. "I'm ready." She had no idea she was walking toward the moment that would change her life, but not in the way she imagined. The ornate door opened before Sarah even rang the bell. An Arab man in traditional white dishdasha appeared. Attractive, about the age she expected, well-trimmed beard, charismatic smile. But something subtle in his eyes didn't match the photos she'd studied online. "Sarah!" he exclaimed enthusiastically, opening his arms. "Finally, I'm Khalid. Such a pleasure to meet you after months of correspondence." Sarah smiled nervously, feeling a mixture of relief and something she couldn't quite name. Khalid's voice was different than she'd imagined. Younger, with an accent that didn't seem typical of Emirates royalty. She attributed her impressions to nervousness and unrealistic expectations. "Your Highness," she said formally, attempting a slight bow as she'd practiced. "Please, just Khalid in private," he replied, taking her hand in a manner more intimate than formal. "Come, I've prepared special dinner to celebrate our meeting." The interior was impressive. Authentic Persian rugs, Islamic art on the walls, expensive furniture, crystal chandeliers. Everything confirmed the narrative of wealth and royal status. "Your residence is magnificent," Sarah commented genuinely. "Thank you. This is where I relax away from court formalities. Here I'm simply Khalid, not the prince with all his responsibilities." They sat in an elaborate dining room, a table set for two with fine china and crystal. An older man introduced as Mahmoud, my personal assistant, served appetizers of hummus, tabbouleh, authentic Arabic dishes. "I hope you enjoy traditional food," Khalid said. "I ordered with your tastes in mind." For 30 minutes, conversation flowed naturally. Khalid demonstrated architectural knowledge that impressed Sarah, asked intelligent questions about her projects, showed photos of family buildings in the Emirates. "Now," he said more seriously, "let's discuss our project. I'm eager to hear your initial ideas." Sarah presented sketches she'd developed over months. Khalid seemed genuinely interested, offering insightful comments and culturally appropriate suggestions. "Impressive," he murmured, studying the drawings. "You understand the soul of modern Islamic architecture. This is precisely the sensibility our family sought." Sarah felt completely validated professionally. Finally, someone recognized her talent the way she'd dreamed. "There's just one issue," Khalid continued, his tone changing. "Our lawyers informed us about regulations that have changed. International projects now require different financial guarantees." Sarah felt familiar anxiety. "What kind of guarantees?" "Nothing dramatic, but the initial investment, the $20,000 we discussed, needs to be increased to $35,000. It's a new legal requirement, not our choice." $35,000. Sarah paused, calculating mentally. It was a significant amount, almost half her savings, but still possible if she used everything and took a small loan. "I understand your hesitation," Khalid said, interpreting her pause. "That's why I insisted you come meet me personally. I need you to trust me as I trust you." "It's not about trust," Sarah replied carefully. It's simply a considerable amount. Khalid leaned closer, placing his hand on hers. An unexpected shiver ran through her. "Sarah, may I speak as a man, not as a prince?" She nodded, heart racing at the physical contact. "Over these months, our correspondence has meant more than business," he said in a low voice. "I've found in you not only a talented architect, but a woman of rare intelligence and elegance. If this project doesn't work out, I'd lose not only a professional opportunity, but a special personal connection I don't want to lose." Sarah felt her heart race. Was this romantic? Was a prince expressing personal interest in her? "Khalid, I don't know what to say," she murmured, flattered and confused. "You don't have to say anything yet," he replied softly. "Just consider it. This project will be the beginning of something bigger, professionally and perhaps personally." Dinner continued in an increasingly intimate atmosphere. Khalid shared seemingly personal stories about his lonely life, challenges of royalty, his search for authentic connections in a world of protocol. "Do you understand why I rarely meet someone who sees me as a person, not as a title?" he said during dessert. Sarah felt increasingly special. The idea of having won a prince's romantic interest was intoxicating. At 10 p.m., Khalid suggested a walk through the gardens. Under the stars, with Abu Dhabi sparkling in the distance, he became more seductive. "Sarah," he said, stopping near a fountain, "I need to be honest about something." "What?" she asked, anticipation and nervousness mixing. "When my family learned of my interest in you, professional and personal, some members expressed concerns." "What kind of concerns?" "Traditions about arranged marriages, expectations about EMIRATI wives, political pressures, nonsense, in my opinion. But family is family. Marriage." Sarah felt dizzy. Was he considering marriage? "That's why this project is crucial," Khalid continued. "If we demonstrate our professional partnership is successful, it'll be easier to justify other developments in our relationship." "Khalid, this is moving very quickly," Sarah said, trying to maintain clarity. "You're right," he replied immediately. "Forgive me. I rarely meet someone who arouses such strong feelings. But you're right. We should focus on the professional project first." They went back inside, where Khalid proved pragmatic about the investment. "I understand $35,000 is significant," he said. "How about this? You invest $25,000 now to get us started, and the remaining $10,000 when we sign main contracts next week." $25,000 was still substantial, but the installment payment made it more acceptable, and the romantic possibilities clouded her judgment. "I need to think about it," she said. "Of course, sleep on it. Give me your answer tomorrow. If you decide to proceed, I'll help with the transfer. If not, Ahmed will take you to the airport with no hard feelings." The offer seemed fair. Sarah would have a night to consider. "Thank you for a wonderful evening," she said when Ahmed appeared to drive her back. "My pleasure," Khalid replied, kissing her hand for several seconds longer than proper. "I hope our next conversation will be the beginning of something extraordinary." On the drive back, Sarah felt confused and excited. Was she really having a romance with a prince, or was she being manipulated by a skilled predator? In her room, she tried calling Monica, but it was 4 a.m. in Boston. She spent hours researching Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Nahyan online. What she found left her more confused. There were references to Al Nahyan family members with similar names, but no photos that matched exactly. Royal family trees were complex and contradictory. Maybe information is deliberately vague for security, she rationalized. Until 4 a.m., she couldn't sleep, her mind racing between romantic excitement and anxiety about financial commitment. She didn't know that Khalid was in another apartment, counting money from 2 other American women from recent weeks, planning how to manipulate Sarah into transferring money the next morning. The luxurious villa was rented for the night. The assistants were actors paid 200 dirhams each. The food was ordered from an expensive restaurant, served on borrowed dishes. Everything Sarah experienced was an orchestrated performance designed to make her feel special and willing to hand over her savings. Sarah woke at 6 a.m. after only 2 hours of restless sleep. Her mind couldn't stop processing the previous night. A historic professional opportunity combined with romantic possibility with a prince seemed like a fairy tale. Maybe too good to be true. Before committing her savings, she decided to do thorough checking. She called the UAE consulate in Boston again, this time with specific questions. "Good morning. I called last week about the invitation from Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Nahyan. I'd like to confirm additional details about the $300 million cultural project." "One moment, please." After several long minutes, "Ms. Mitchell, I have record of your previous inquiry, but I cannot find specific information about any cultural project of this magnitude. Could you provide more precise details?" Sarah's heart began racing. The cultural complex, including museum, library, and conference center, approved by the Al Nahyan family for immediate start. "Ma'am, I have no official record of any project of this magnitude recently approved by the royal family. Major government cultural projects are always announced publicly through official channels. Could you double-check the exact full name of the prince?" Sarah felt rising panic. "Khalid bin Sultan Al Nahyan, Prince of the Emirati royal family, approximately 45 years old." "Let me search carefully. Ms. Mitchell, there are several Al Nahyan family members, but I cannot find any Prince Khalid bin Sultan of the age or position you described. The Prince Khalid Al Nahyan we know is 26 years old and currently studying at MIT. Sarah's world began crumbling. But I had dinner with him last night in Abu Dhabi. He showed me documents, architectural plans. "Ma'am," the official's voice became serious and concerned. "I strongly suggest you be extremely careful. There have been recent cases of criminals posing as royal family members to scam Western citizens. I urgently recommend you contact local authorities immediately if anyone requests money or attempts to isolate you." Sarah hung up with visibly shaking hands. Was everything she'd experienced an elaborate lie? Was the charming man she dined with a dangerous imposter? Her phone rang almost immediately. WhatsApp from Khalid. "Good morning, my dear. Hope you rested well and dreamed of us. Looking forward to your decision on our project. May I send Ahmed at 10 a.m. to discuss next steps?" The words now sounded grotesque rather than romantic. Sarah felt physically nauseous. She decided to confront him directly. "Khalid, I need to clarify some serious inconsistencies. The Emirates consulate has no record of a cultural project or Prince Khalid bin Sultan Al Nahyan at the age you claimed." The response came quickly. "Sarah, dear, this is exactly why we keep projects highly confidential until final approval. Information leaked prematurely causes serious political problems. Local consulates don't have access to all royal family projects. Can we discuss your concerns in person?" The explanation seemed superficially plausible, but Sarah decided to test further. "I'd like to visit your family at the main royal palace. Could you arrange a formal meeting? This time, a longer pause. Unfortunately, traditional protocol doesn't allow formal visits until projects are approved by family elders. That's precisely why we need the initial investment, to obtain bureaucratic approvals that will allow official family meetings. Sarah saw the manipulative pattern clearly. Every question was answered with an explanation requiring more money before any verification. Khalid, I need to talk to you face to face, now. Of course, my love. Ahmed will be there at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. sharp, Ahmed arrived in the same ordinary Toyota. This time, Sarah observed him critically. His clothes were clean but not expensive. His English was basic. The car was modest and used. Hassan, she said during the drive, how long exactly have you worked for Prince Khalid? Ahmed clearly hesitated, looking nervous. Some time. He good man. Where did you originally meet? Family introduction. My cousin knows his business. What's the prince's full official name again? Ahmed visibly hesitated for a long time. Khalid bin, Arab names very complicated. Sarah realized with horror that Ahmed didn't know the full name of the man he supposedly worked for. When they arrived at the villa, Sarah noticed crucial details she'd missed before. No royal guards, no official security, no flags or symbols of the Al Nahyan family. The property was expensive, but definitely not a royal residence. Khalid greeted her at the door with the same charm, but this time Sarah watched with skeptical, analytical eyes. He looked younger than he claimed. His accent was inconsistent. Small details about his mannerisms didn't match traditional royal behavior. Sarah, my dear, he said, trying to kiss her hand. You seem worried. What can I do to ease your fears? I want to see official documents, she said firmly. Royal passport, official identification, project documents approved by the government. Of course, Khalid replied, but she sensed hesitation. Official royal documents are kept in security vaults. I can provide certified copies, but the process takes a few days. I want to see originals. Now. Khalid subtly changed tactics. Sarah, I feel you don't trust me. This hurts me deeply. I thought we had a special connection. Trust must be earned with evidence, Sarah replied. Right now, many things don't make sense. It was then Khalid made a crucial mistake. In a moment of frustration, he said, Look, do you want this project or not? I don't have infinite time for these games. There are other American architects equally interested. The elegant mask slipped. His language became less formal, less polite, more raw. Sarah caught the change immediately. Other American architects, she asked sharply. What exactly do you mean? Khalid tried to recover. I mean, of course, we have backup options, normal contingencies. But Sarah had heard enough. I want to leave, now. Sarah, please don't let misunderstandings destroy our partnership. Ahmed, she called loudly, take me back to the hotel immediately. It was then the situation became genuinely terrifying. Khalid's entire personality changed dramatically. The charming prince disappeared, replaced by something much colder. Actually, he said in a completely different voice, I don't think you can leave yet. We still need to discuss your promised investment. What investment? Sarah asked, panic rising. The $25,000 you agreed to last night. My organization has already made arrangements based on your commitment. I never agreed to anything. But you did, Khalid said coldly, producing a tablet. Here are our conversations from last night where you clearly agreed to the transfer. Sarah stared in horror. The messages showed her apparently agreeing to transfer money, but she was absolutely certain she'd never sent those messages. "I never wrote this." "Doesn't matter what you think you remember," Khalid said with calculated coldness. "What matters is my organization expects payment, and you're not leaving Abu Dhabi until we receive it." Sarah realized with growing terror she was essentially being held hostage. The romantic prince had been completely fake. Now she was trapped with a criminal demanding her life savings. "Let me out, or I'll call the police," she threatened. Khalid laughed humorlessly. "Go ahead, call the Abu Dhabi police. Tell them an American woman is refusing to pay debts she owes a local businessman. See how sympathetic they are." Sarah's hands trembled as she reached for her phone, but when she tried to make a call, there was no signal. "We have signal blockers," Khalid explained casually, "for privacy." For the first time since arriving in Abu Dhabi, Sarah realized she was in genuine physical danger, alone in a foreign country, no way to communicate with the outside world, trapped with a man who'd spent months building an elaborate false identity to extort money from her. And she had absolutely no idea how to escape. "Let's be practical," said the man Sarah had known as Khalid, sitting casually as if discussing the weather. "You have two simple options. Transfer $35,000 to my account right now, or stay here until you decide to cooperate." "You're insane if you think I'm giving you a penny," Sarah replied, trying to keep her voice steady despite terror. "I know exactly who you are, a common con artist." The fake Khalid laughed, but there was no humor in his eyes. "Common con artist? Sarah, you underestimate me. You think an operation of this sophistication is amateur work?" He gestured around the villa with disturbing pride. "This house, the cars, the trained assistants, all this requires meticulous planning and considerable investment. You were carefully selected after months of research. We know your exact financial situation, your lonely life after divorce, your desperate need for professional recognition." The words hit Sarah like physical blows. She'd been systematically manipulated. "How many other American women have you done this to?" she asked, voice trembling. "Enough to maintain this comfortable lifestyle," the fake Khalid replied casually. "American women are particularly susceptible, lonely, financially stable, eager for international adventure, perfect targets." Sarah felt physically sick. She wasn't just a victim. She was part of a systematic pattern. "Ahmed," he called. The driver appeared immediately, confirming Sarah was being constantly watched. "Take our guest to the guest room. Let her think about her situation." The guest room was actually a small bedroom with bars on the windows and an external lock on the door. Sarah realized with horror this villa had been specifically modified to hold victims prisoner. Alone in the room, she desperately tried to find escape or communication. Small window overlooking the garden, but bars too solid to break. Phone still had no signal. At 3 p.m., Ahmed brought simple food, rice and chicken. Sarah barely touched it, worried it might be drugged. "Please," she said to Ahmed, "help me. You seem like a good person. This is wrong." Ahmed looked conflicted. Sorry, but I need work, my family." "What's your real name?" Sarah asked gently. Ahmed hesitated. "Ahmed is real, but I don't work for real Prince. I work for Mahmoud. He's from Pakistan, lives in Abu Dhabi long time, always in criminal schemes." "How many women has he done this to?" Ahmed looked genuinely disturbed. "Many, maybe 20 American and European women. Usually they pay money and leave quickly. You're first to ask so many questions." Sarah felt a chill. She was in more danger than she'd imagined because she'd been overly suspicious. "Ahmed, please," she begged, "help me contact the American embassy. I promise I'll help you too." Ahmed shook his head sadly. "I can't. Mahmoud has my passport. My family needs money I send." After Ahmed left, Sarah spent hours trying to devise an escape plan. Bars on window were solid, door locked from outside, no communication. At 6 p.m., Mahmoud, she refused to think of him as Khalid, returned. "Have you reconsidered?" he asked pleasantly. "I'll never give you money," Sarah declared. "Actually, I think you will," Mahmoud replied, producing a bag. "I have your credit cards, bank details, passport. With the right persuasion, you can make transfers yourself." "What kind of persuasion?" Mahmoud's expression became sinister. "Abu Dhabi has many places where American tourists can disappear indefinitely." The threat was clear and terrifying. Sarah realized she'd moved beyond financial crime.